Our guest is the Managing Director of Energizer Philippines, and he has been in the Philippines for 4 years going into 5. His name is Esteban Vorbeck of Energizer Philippines. Senor Vorbeck, welcome to ExPat Insights. What makes you really proud about being an Ecuadorian?
That's because I'm also very much a foreigner in my country.
Your last name is Vorbeck.
My last name is Vorbeck, but I love the warmth of the people, the positivism of the people there, and of course all the great nature wealth that we have. So that's.
Okay, now we'll be taking a break in a minute, and you are here as the Managing Director of Energizer, which is a multinational company, and you have been in the country for 4 years. So we'll come back and talk to you about that, Esteban. So stay with us. We are still with Mr. Vorbeck, Senor Vorbeck of Ecuador, and we'll come back to him and talk to him about his business in the Philippines. Now, Energizer has been in this country for more than 40 years.
50 years.
50 years.
Yes.
And you've just come in for the last 4 or 5 years. Tell us about how big is Energizer in the Philippines and how successful, or what's its ranking worldwide?
Well, we have 2 brands here in the Philippines. It's in the battery business. It's Everready and Energizer, and with both we are leaders in the industry. Both command around 80% market share of their respective segments. It's a $2.5 billion
dollar industry
peso business here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Worldwide, the battery segment, we are leaders when you combine both the alkaline, Energizer, and Everready brands across the world. But the company has also undergone a lot of changes since it was spun off as an independent company back in 2000. We've acquired 3 other companies. So we now have Schick, which is shavers, razors and blades. We also acquired recently Playtex. And with Playtex we have Banana Boat and Hawaiian Tropic for sunscreen lotions, Wet Ones, the wipes.
6 brands.
Playtex tampons and infant care products. So it's a quite different company today than what it was 4 years ago, or even 10 years ago as we spanned the business.
Your life has been spent in manufacturing and retail and engineering. What are the eases, what are the conveniences of doing business in the Philippines? What are the highlights of saying, hey, it's great to do business in the Philippines from your point of view?
Well, we see the business here in 2 ways, no? The modern trade, so basically the supermarkets. Supermarkets are mostly family owned. Relationship building is very important, so they are very organized and professional. So
these are local chains that are all
chains,
across the Philippines.
The Robinsons, the Shoe Marts, the Walter Marts that are across the Philippines. These are very professionally run family businesses, and it's really a pleasure to do business with them. Half of our business is traditional trade. It's distributors that take our products all the way down to sari-sari, public markets, groceries across the country.
So there are middlemen for the traditional businesses. It's not directly to the stores from you.
It's not directly through the stores, yes. We go through a network of about 25 distributors across the country, and they have vans and salesmen that do the door-to-door sari-sari type sales. We service about 90,000 points of sales directly and a few more through wholesalers. So it's a very dynamic, it's a very challenging and very broad type of distribution that we do, and that's very, very interesting.
Across the world, Senor Esteban, the usage of disposable batteries now looked down upon compared to 20, 30 years ago.
Yes.
Because they were harmful for the environment and they were not easily disposable. And I'm sure Energizer makes studies or does research on it. What is your foresight on the consumable energy products like batteries? What is Energizer doing about it?
Well, you touch on a very important point.
Yes.
It's 15 years ago, we still used to use gasoline with lead.
Gasoline with lead.
When it comes to batteries, many years ago, batteries also used heavy metals because they're good ingredients to generate electricity.
When you say heavy metals, are they different from nickel, cadmium?
They're
lead?
basically the most used are mercury, lead,
lead,
and cadmium. Huh? Those are ingredients that were
Those were
normally
used years ago.
Yes. Now, all the branded battery companies have taken those products out of the manufacture of the primary batteries, the ones you use and throw out. And we've replaced them with other type of compounds which do not harm the environment anymore. So our batteries, even in Europe, same product that we sell and distribute in the Philippines, can be safely disposed of in the trash.
Ordinary trash?
Ordinary trash.
Okay. Tell us a bit about the working atmosphere in Energizer. You as a foreigner, you as an Ecuadorian working with Filipinos, what's your management style and what kind of people skills are required on your part?
I think Latins, and me as a Latin, we're very informal, so we like to have very direct communication. I like a flat organization, so I like when people call me Esteban.
Esteban.
more than sorry, but I'm fine with either because they felt comfortable. So the work ethic I found at Energizer Philippines and Philippines in general.
How many
is
people do
very
you
good.
employ?
In the office we have about 80 people. Then
Nationwide?
It grows as you start adding our third-party sales colleagues or the people that are doing merchandising services. With that, it grows to about 500 people that are involved directly with the Energizer Philippines business. And the work ethic is very good.
You like working here?
I do. There is some changes and some adaptations, some cultural differences that one has to get used to. But it's very fulfilling. It's very enriching. I learn a lot from interacting with Filipinos, and I hope to also have been able to influence and bring something from our side of the world into how we do business here.
Good. On that note, Senor, we're going to take a few minutes break. We'll come back and ask you, find out what are areas where we can learn from each other, Filipinos from Ecuadorians, and of course from your personal experience. And we'll come back and find out how we can adapt them to this culture. So let's take a couple of minutes break. It's been nice talking to you, Senor Esteban. Now, being an Ecuadorian and being a global citizen, no, what are the things that you have learned across the world, and what are the things you think you should implement as a country manager in the Philippines? What are the changes you would like to have?
Well, one of the things that I've learned and I've seen, because we like to travel and observe, is more developed countries have their citizens really get involved and demand of their leaders to do things better.
Sorry, say that again. Citizens demand.
In the more developed countries,
All right.
the citizens hold their leaders more accountable for what they do.
Oh, okay.
I've been trying to instill that mentality with the company.
Within Energizer.
Because our employees are the ones that, they have to hold me and my management committee accountable for giving them the right tools, the right training, the right direction for them to improve. Conversely, you can take that and move it into the general society. So people...
I'd like to, before you go to the general society, I'd like to understand that. I'd like to repeat it. In fact, what you're saying is, instead of being a boss-employee relationship, or instead of being a leader-follower relationship, you're saying the followers or your employees must take a certain amount of charge and saying, it's just not me, you need to respond to me. Is that
Yes.
is that a correct understanding?
I think so. In another word, it's a two-way street. It's not the boss simply saying what should be done. You also have to get feedback as to the directions that you're giving. It's a very intimate two-way street, and that is something that was not very easy to get implemented here.
Yeah.
Because Filipinos really love to implement or do what they are told to do.
Follow orders.
Follow orders.
Right.
Very comfortable and excellent at following orders. But there is a level of empowerness that you have to get from people so that everybody improves. The whole, you become a little bit more proactive into looking at the opportunities that are out there in the market, that are out there for society. One boss cannot be able to see everything that goes on.
He can be the captain, not the king.
You can give the directions, you can more or less help the organization move towards the right or the left, or a little faster or a little slower, but you're going to have to get everybody's involvement in doing that. And to do that, it's very important that we improve the understanding of people. So it's teaching people what it is that you're after.
And you're saying that the same thing need to be modeled in the general society of this country
Yes.
and also Ecuador.
Yes.
What steps have you taken as the head of Energizer, and you have about 300 to 400 Filipinos working for you, to implement this concept that you're talking about?
Well, it's a trickle down. So I have to work through my direct reports, who they themselves then start multiplying this effort. So it's spending a lot of time with those people that work directly with me, so that we understand what it is that we're after, so that we improve as a group, and then as a group start bringing that learning down to, from a manager to a supervisor at the different levels of the organization, and expanding.
So as a
the
leader,
reach.
you're not just the visionary, you're saying that the vision needs to be shared through and through
Yes.
and understood.
Yes, I believe you have to not just have the vision, but you also have to show it by example.
Cascade
you know,
it down.
cascade and be part of it. When you are part of it, the communication is a lot faster, and the impact to the group is better received.
Very good. What are the things that you have learned in the last 4 years from the Filipinos, and what would you like to take back to Ecuador if you ever go back to Ecuador?
Filipinos are patient,
Patience?
very, very patient.
This is in comparison to the rest of the world or just to Ecuadorians?
I think to the rest of the world, that I know. I know Asians are in general more calm and don't like too much conflict and confrontation. Latinos are very explosive. Huh?
They are?
Yes.
You don't look very explosive.
This is something that
This is Philippines,
This
okay.
is something that I'm learning, and I still have quite a bit of improvement to do.
Okay.
Yeah? But
So
that's one of the things I think.
That's the one thing you'd like to take
Definitely,
back home.
definitely.
Fantastic. Now, after your trip, after your visit in this country, you're probably going to go back to your country or move away. What would you like to be remembered for, having done for Energizer and the Philippines?
Well, a lot of things, I hope, but most and foremost, I think getting people's self-esteem and self-confidence up in the areas that they can start to a point where they can actually themselves turn around and become teachers to more people.
Very good. I like hearing what you said, Mr. Esteban. As an expat and as part Filipino, I really applaud what you have said. I really appreciate this, and I'd like to thank you for being on the show and sharing your Ecuadorian and Filipino wisdom with us.